Because the next 40 minutes that I have here is a conversation with Basia Jovell, who was a witness against Darlie Routier in the Darlie Routier case. Uh, she's hard to understand, so I encourage people to use the pause and rewind if you want to catch what she's saying. I didn't have much trouble, but I did this 10 years ago, and she's a little bit easier to understand than she is now. But we clear some things up in the Darlie Routier case by someone that was there and saw Darlie every single day. Uh, it's nice to hear someone that was there, but also take into account that perception and memory might have a lot to do with what someone's saying now. So here's Basia Jovell, Justice for Devin and Damon Routier.
Hello?
Hey, Basia. This is Brian.
Ryan.
Oh, I was looking for Basia Jovell.
This is me.
Well, this is Brian. I told you I called today. How are you? Remember? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
I haven't
I
talked.
do not.
I haven't talked to you for 10 years.
Oh my gosh, yes, hi.
Did you
For a
forget?
moment, you scared me because I have this dude that keeps after me and he's so in love. And I thought that was him calling me.
Oh,
I got. How are you, sweetheart?
I'm good. How's your ankle? Last time I talked to you, you said your ankle was hurting you.
Oh, yeah, I have an iron in there and stuff.
You sound. You said.
Metal. Yeah, I had surgery on it, but it's good. I'm walking.
Yeah. I hate it when my
I had,
feet hurt.
oh God, yes. This is, I've heard people saying if you wrap onion in aluminum foil
That's what they
and wrap
say.
it,
Yeah, I know what you're talking
and
about.
I need to try it because sometimes I can't even stand up on my feet. My soles hurt so bad.
Yeah, yeah. I have a diabetic neuropathy, and my feet. Oh no,
That's what I have. Yeah.
they bruise up, and it's crazy how bad it hurts.
Yes, I know. But they don't really, what I do. I exercise them, I massage them. You have to do things like that.
Yeah, I have to wear compression socks.
Yeah, I don't have any.
Yeah. So are you with your daughter Tammy?
Yeah,
That
yeah, I
that's
live with
good.
my
That's
with
good.
them. Yes,
That's good. At least somebody there to help take care of you when you get a little bit older. We start getting
yeah.
sicker and falling apart.
Oh yeah, I'm going falling apart, but I'm pretty strong
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
So
you sound a lot different than when I talked to you last time.
last time I couldn't stop sobbing.
Yeah, you sound a lot different, easier to understand.
Yeah.
Well, the Polish
I,
accent is
I'm,
your Polish accent is really thick. That's okay.
yeah, and with the crying didn't help because my niece, she found one of those on YouTube tapes that I'm talking, and she goes, "But I couldn't understand one thing you said."
Yeah, well, a lot of it was that you were kind of upset too.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, because
mm,
you hadn't talked to anybody about the case,
right.
and it brought some bad memories. But we just know that we're speaking, and we speak for those boys, and we speak up for you too. So I don't,
Oh,
I wouldn't want it to be a sad thing. Well, a lot of times, Basha, they when when they get to talking about why you got on the stand, they keep saying, well, they had a falling out, and Basha was jealous of them. No, you weren't.
No,
You got you got
sweetheart.
you got on the stand because they told you to get
Now,
on the
I'm
stand.
not gonna lie that Darren didn't try, okay?
Uh-huh.
But I went straight like I said, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh yeah, what Darren tried to
But
do?
that was before the wedding. He started working. I didn't know he even was with Darlie or anything.
Oh
And he was making moves. Oh, yeah.
yeah, because I
Because,
know you worked at Cuplex for about 14 years before Darren even got there, didn't you?
right, right.
And that's where you met him at.
Yes.
Yeah, and then
And that's where he wanted me to, and I knew Qplex is going to move to Mexico.
yeah,
So I was the only person they laid off. They fired almost everybody, so they don't have to pay. Yeah,
well Darren did
it
good.
was.
Darren did good by learning how to do those computer testing boards
Yeah, that's
himself.
right. He wanted me to open up for him because I knew everything about testing and all that.
Didn't he ask you
And
to? Didn't he ask you the night of the day after the boys were killed? Didn't he ask? Did he ask you to go open up Tesnique?
yes,
He did.
yes,
Wow. I think that would be the last thing I was worried about.
I know.
But
I
if you,
know, but the things that they were doing, that's why I was so off the wall.
yeah,
And, in a hospital, but see, now I can't because I was so out of it. When I went to Darlie, she told everybody to leave.
yeah,
And I stayed, and just for me to stay. And I stayed, and for one, it was like a moment to where her eyes were like Darlie's eyes.
uh,
I don't know how to explain. And I swear that first, I can't believe I did this.
you,
And I sat down with this shock,
yeah.
and
Well,
Darlie
but
talked to me, and she like woke up out of, and her eyes were completely different. And Darren walked in, and he hovered over her,
yeah,
and then
he didn't, he
she
didn't,
said, "I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing."
yeah.
So then I was like, God, did I just heard that? Or that was my imagination because I'm all out of it.
No,
So,
there's this one detective that questioned her. His name was Bill Parker, and he swears up and down that Darlie said to him, "If I did it, I don't remember it."
yes, when I talked to her on the phone, I told her, I said, darling, you were, because she was really out of it.
Yeah,
Okay, she just had the baby, postpartum depression. She was breastfeeding. I remember I called my doctor. He told me to take her of breastfeeding and get her to a doctor.
yeah.
And I almost had her at the doctor, and Mama Darlie said no.
Isn't that part of the reason why she was sleeping downstairs away from Drake? Because she was trying to stop breastfeeding?
Because when Drake turned in a crib, I
Yeah.
wake her up that she couldn't sleep, but she slept through the children being slaughtered.
Yeah, and I've seen that bedroom, the bedroom that Darlie had. It's huge. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know how a little baby moving around can wake her up. I don't know. I
I
don't.
wake her up, but then she sleeps through the children being slaughtered, right?
Yeah. Well, another thing is, uh,
Oh man, sitting on top of her. That's what she told me, and
yeah,
she told another nurse the same thing.
that he was sitting on top. He told Mercedes Adams the same thing.
Yeah, sitting on. So how can
That
she not wake up?
yeah, that he was sitting on her. There's
Yeah,
now like all her jewelry that was downstairs that she had down there, her wedding ring and her watch and all that stuff.
right.
There's a
Nothing was touched.
there's a there's a rumor going around, or has been for the last 5 or 6 years, that she wanted your mom to clean that jewelry because she was going to sell it for 10,000. Did you ever hear anything like that? Nope. You must.
No.
Yeah. We just wonder why that
I
jewelry.
know that she treated my mother like she was her maid.
Yeah.
Mother was there because I got her. I said, Mom, she's not right. It's something I want you to keep an eye on her. Just go help her clean and do stuff. She likes that.
Yeah.
So that's what my mother did. It was helping her out, and the stuff that my mother told me, it was like uh, she told me something terrible is going to happen that night.
Yeah. I
My
remember,
mother did.
you had said that they had been fighting all week long.
Oh
Dark.
my God! Oh, and money, 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 money. That's what I've heard. It was money. To
Yeah.
this day, I don't touch money. That's how bad I
Yeah.
got.
I
I don't
understand.
want because that it's like evil to me.
We
My
had
daughter
this.
got
There's
my
this.
daughter gets my money.
Good. At least she's been watching out for you. There's this guy on
Yeah,
YouTube. There's this guy. He sticks up for Darlie. He goes to visit her. And just a few weeks ago, he brought this lady on his show, and they were going through your criminal record that you had after the crime. Yeah, and,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And there was a few times where you got caught with some stuff or whatever. And
No, no. I was set up. This girl was cleaning for me after my spine surgery, and
yeah,
I had lots of those pain pills. And she asked me to sell them to her because her friend hurt his back, and he can't even go to the doctor. And she needed money. So what I did is I went ahead, sold the pills to the guy
yeah,
couple times and gave her the money because she has 5 kids.
right.
And she set me up.
Say she's told on you, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
And so
I know. Back when I first started getting my
I
back.
didn't even know that was illegal. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
even
yeah.
know.
You can't. I know, but I know back when I first started having my back pain, if I'd run out of Vicodins or whatever my pain, I would call somebody up and say, "Hey, do you got a couple pain pills to hold me over?" Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But she
And yeah, I didn't eat, mind the way I was supposed to because I would prefer to smoke my weed.
yeah,
That helped me more than the pain medication.
yeah. That's what I do. I just smoked a little bit right before I got on here because of my back. I had to quit for a while, but it helps.
Yeah.
It helps my back.
Oh, yeah. It kind of blocks it out.
Yeah, well, it helps you
Well, I
relax.
got set up, and what happened? They got me out 8 months.
Yeah.
The judge and everybody, because I testified it, and the DA stood up for me.
Oh.
So I was
She brought up.
facing
Well, she
three.
brought up. She brought up. There was one with the pills, and then there was another. There was another charge.
That was just 3 times that they set me up with pills. That's it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
That's
the
it.
person that
And they
brought the
made it 3 cases. Yeah.
yeah the person that was talking about your record is an ex heroin addict. So I was sticking up. I was sticking up for you. They say, oh, she didn't like Darlie. They had a falling out, and I said,
I
well,
love that girl.
right,
I wanted her to change. I had to start pulling away because she will have those young girls giving them wine and stuff. I
yes,
didn't want to be responsible for things like that.
yeah.
Maybe a
Well,
girl comes up to me. She goes, "Can I have it?" I say, "Have what?" She goes, "That wine."
the Zima,
I said, "No." And I says, "Why?" Well, Darlie gives it to us. I said, "Well, that's Darlie, but that's not me."
yeah, the
And I
Zima.
went to Darlie. I says, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I just gave them a little bit sometimes." I says, "You're gonna get in trouble."
That came out
She
at
was
trial.
playing this young girl,
Renee.
you know,
Yeah,
huh?
the girl was Renee Stanley. Her name was Renee. That came out in trial that Darlie was giving those young kids the Zimas. And
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
one time she gave the girl some weed.
Oh, God, but she wasn't herself. She
Yeah.
really wasn't herself. Uh,
I could tell that she wasn't herself when I started reading her journal because
yeah.
in her journal, first things were nice and happy, and she was just everything.
Oh, my daughter just walked in.
I hear you.
So,
Yeah,
no, she already left. She's quick. Mom,
uh-huh.
did you eat what I left you? I said, yeah.
Yeah. Well, in her journal, if you ever got the chance to see it, I mean, she talks real nice about her family and her boys and how much she loves everybody and all that. And then it just totally switches over to, I just want to end things because things have been so hard for so long. You know, she was thinking about killing herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that
Uh,
you had went through some of that when you were pregnant.
yes,
Yeah.
she was, yeah, I literally tried to kill myself. I couldn't take it no more.
Well, I'm
I
glad you
could
did.
not take it no more.
We're glad you did.
And I took a bunch of pills. And yeah, I
Was
did
this
die
after? It was after. It was while you were pregnant, right?
after. Huh?
Oh, after the murders,
Yeah,
you tried to
yeah,
take your own life.
yeah.
I
That
know
was
that. Yeah.
after I went and got into trouble, and the DA got me out
Well,
the way they did it, but I don't want to say it because,
yeah. I
that's kind of.
I can imagine that anybody that knew and loved Evan and Damon after this happened to them that they were devastated
I
by it.
didn't see her cry once.
I did
Not.
in her booking photo. She was crying in her booking photo.
Oh yeah, yeah, there.
Yeah.
And when they when they find her guilty, I think Darren knew something, but I don't think he participated.
No.
But he tried to cover for her, I believe.
Sure he did. He did well, I don't think he believed it at first that she did anything, and I think he realized a couple days after he had already been
Yeah,
sticking up
yeah,
for her, and then he couldn't go back on it now because of his other son.
yeah, yeah.
He did really well after he lives in Lubbock, and he owns a company called Netcom Communications. But about 3 years ago, he just sold his ranch for $869,000.
Yeah.
So he's doing financially, he's doing well. But I wouldn't want to be Darren.
Did, but Darlie didn't know how to hold the box. When I taught her how the business works and what she has to do, yeah, okay, she did. So the first $5,000 she saved, she bought herself boobs.
Yeah,
She bought herself boobs. So
she got herself boobs. Yeah.
yeah.
And then now people have talked more about that. Remember we were talking about where he had his first Jaguar stolen?
Oh yeah. The funny thing is, that Darren called me. He was at this restaurant, and when I closed up, um, uh, I saw Barry next door driving off with his Jaguar.
You saw Barry driving it, Barry Fife?
Yeah,
Okay.
Barry does the mechanic needs store. He was
Yeah.
driving off with Darren's deal of that car. And Darren calls me from the restaurant and he goes, somebody just stole my car. I'm here in the restaurant. And so on. So I don't remember what else went, but I says, but I just saw Barry driving off with your car. Oh no, he already brought it back. He was test driving or something like that. But Barry took that car because his friend came from Oklahoma,
Yeah.
and he was showing me on the video, in Oklahoma where Barry's grandmother lives or somebody, and there's a Jaguar sitting like I saw a Tom.
What were they supposed to get
So
insurance?
I go to Darren, the doing the insurance part, and I go to Darren. And I said, Darren, I said, I forgot that guy's name. He just showed me pictures, and I said, your jaguar is at Barry's grandmother's yard. Don't say nothing, don't say nothing. Even Mama Darlie was doing the insurance papers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, a lot of people think that Barry Fife had something to do with that he may have had somebody come in the house and do this to these boys.
No,
No,
no, no.
they were just buddies.
Yeah, him and Darren, and so it's
Well, they found a little bit of cocaine in the house, and everybody's
well, that's the thing. Yeah, I that's where I tried it first time. I thought she was on her wedding.
yeah.
Yeah, that's where I first time tried it, and that one time Darren was giving me a line, and I didn't want it, and Darlie walked in,
Yeah.
and
Well,
and she says, "Well, if you don't want it, I'm going to do it," and
Dar-
that's okay.
Darlie has told people that she's never ever done cocaine in her life.
Oh, that's a crock of shit.
I didn't think
Yeah,
so. Well, because they found some in the house that night, and there's a lot of people out there that think Barry Fife was this big, huge cocaine drug dealer, and that Darren owed him money. So since Darren didn't pay him, he sent people in the house to do what he had that, and that's a crock too.
no. He wasn't a big dealer or anything like that. If he did purchase somewhere, it
Yeah,
was for entertainment,
right, and
But
that's
he
the way.
started doing, he
I've been
started
there.
doing,
I've been there. I know what the '90s were like. I snorted up some cocaine too, and
yeah.
and,
I like speed better than cocaine. When I tried.
I can't. If I try to do
I
that
couldn't
now, I'd have a
handle the
stroke.
cocaine part.
If I try to do some cocaine today, I'd have a stroke or something.
Oh God, I would too.
I
I
knew.
got congestive heart failure too. So.
I know that. I know that you could just go and buy a little bit off somebody. If you and you don't have to be a big drug dealer.
Right,
You can go get a
right.
teener off somebody or an 8 ball over here. But they were trying to make.
And I remember I had this guy, Ted, and he bought an 8 ball of Coke, okay? And I was going for New Year's party to Darlie's, and I says, look, Ted invited me to go and be there with Gina and them. And I told her, well, they got, bring him over here, bring him over here.
Did
So
you ever
I
go?
asked Ted,
Yeah.
did he want to go over there? And his wife, Gina. We went over there. I couldn't even, I backed off. I couldn't even do another line. All I did, it was that my nose hurt, and I was
You start with sneezing and
sick as a
wasting
board.
it. But that was real popular back in the '90s, especially
And
if
when
they
it came
had
to
a little
this,
bit of
all
money.
of a sudden, I watched Ted left his wife and him and Darlie hanging around the kitchen there. Darren sits and constantly wants to talk to me. And I'm sitting ignoring.
Yeah.
And Darlie and Ted smoking something. And I'm going, so what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, do you know you could smoke cocaine?
Yeah.
He was tuning in to the cocaine to crack.
Yeah. Yeah. You
And
could.
Darlie and him were doing it. I didn't want it because I've heard about it. I got scared.
That's called. Yeah. That's called freebase.
She was doing it to her nose was bleeding.
Yeah.
And because of the holidays and stuff, nobody had really had much money left. I had maybe $90 on my account, And she was going to use that $90 for him to go get some more.
Yeah.
And I said, girl, that's enough. I mean, your nose is bleeding. I don't care. They don't do it.
Yeah. It's highly addictive, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them for. They were rich yuppies back then, and that's what rich young people were doing back
His
then.
parents were rich, but he did work himself up. by stealing stuff from Qplex so he can open up his
Yeah,
shop.
yeah. They steal their stuff and take it home.
When I went over there to open up, he says, "Isn't that from Qplex?"
He had half
So
the he had
I
half of
need
their.
a little bit of start.
Do you think do you think he took some of their contracts too with them?
Oh yeah,
That makes me
oh
wonder.
yeah. He was smart. He was smart.
There's a lot of people.
Not much, but he did get the testing one from few companies that were from Qplex. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he went cheaper than Qplex, and then he done some for Qplex.
Huh.
Towards the end, that's the end.
Did he get now on that first Jaguar? Did he get insurance money out of it? Did he actually collect on it?
So he bought another piece of junk Jaguar.
Oh, so he got the insurance from the one and bought another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he paid 10,800 for that one.
I don't know what they
Well,
got.
he said on the stand that he paid cash for it, 10,800.
Oh wow.
But Darlie tries to pretend like she didn't know anything about that first Jaguar being stolen.
Oh, she's a liar.
And she
It was
said,
funny because she's the one who ran to me. She goes, "Talk to your friend. Talk to your friend, please, to delete that video."
"What? I don't know if you watched
Talk
it.
to her.
I don't know."
And at that time when he moved here, I had a bedroom, so I rented one of my bedrooms to him, and then his girlfriend came, and shortly after they moved back to Oklahoma. I don't know what happened, but um, I guess he didn't get along. What happened with uh, the Jaguar? So him and Barry were fighting. So.
Darlie's on this one show, and they're asking her about this. She's saying to these two detectives, she's telling them, "Well, I found out things about Darren that I didn't know about back then." And then the detective goes to her. He says, "Oh, Barry Fife, the stolen car," and she goes, "Yeah." Darlie acted like she didn't know anything about it. Well,
Oh my God,
have
that's
you
a lie.
have you just watch the shows? Do you? You don't watch any of them shows, do you?
No,
And just about
I
every show she comes
I
on. Yeah.
I stopped watching TV completely.
Right, I
Uh,
remember. Yeah, you told me that.
I'm very sensitive to. I like to watch some good drama or before, but I don't. I just can't.
Yeah, what you went through back then, I can only imagine how it was for you. And
It was
anybody
so
around.
bad that she stole something precious from me.
Yeah,
It was that I have a hard time getting too close to children,
yeah.
where I used to embrace children at the pool, teach them
Yeah,
how to swim, and so I, even with my own grandchildren,
yeah.
I
I
mean,
can
I'm
imagine.
close, but I'm afraid that if I get too close, something's going to happen. I
Yeah.
have this stupid mentality. I don't know why, but
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what's happened to me since we've talked last. Uh, my son killed a 2-year-old little boy, and he's in prison for life now for that. The,
oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
What
But
happened?
the difference is I'm not out here trying to say he didn't do it. I'm not out here lying and saying he didn't do that. He deserves what he got. But I know what that can do to you if you're involved in something like that. Like, cause
Yes,
I knew that little boy, and it
yeah,
does mess with you bad about kids. You don't want to get
yes,
too close to them because you're afraid it's like they're fragile now. You
yes.
know, it does do something to you. But with you, with Devin and Damon, you knew them very well. Yeah,
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, hon, we spend so much time together, even during a week, because darling, Damon, oh, I want to go to Ambassadors. No, Ambassadors. He came. I said, "That's all right. My mom is there. She'll be fine."
Yeah.
That's when Damon told me, Mama, she was mean to me. I said, and stupid me as well. Sometimes children, you know, upset mommies because mommies are busy and stuff, and Mama didn't mean to.
Yeah.
She loves me. No, she's mean to me.
Well, I remember that
And
you.
then when I went to the house and I saw how he stood there with that stick and look at the ground, and she's kind of TV singing, the baby's on the floor. Oh God, yeah, it was. She didn't have no interest of holding the children, nurture them, nothing.
I don't know. I mean, at first, I'm thinking at first she was really into being a good
To
mom.
the babies part. She loves babies.
Yeah.
When the boys are getting bigger, it was too much. She could not handle it. She hated having boys,
Yeah.
and that's why she could have his boys.
Yeah. And she told this guy that you were messing around with Glenn Mize and that Darlie stomped down to Glenn Mize's house and told on you. And she also told Barry, he said that she also told Barry Fife, if you give my husband any more of them drugs, I'm going to turn every one of you in. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, not
she she's she's a liar,
yeah,
and that's not no. She did the drugs. She was buying one by the cases. She was really going out of her mind
yeah,
because the money was running out. I had more money than she did.
yeah,
Yeah, but I wasn't going to, for failing. I mean, I knew something was going to happen because the atmosphere. I stopped seeing her. I stopped going to her place because she had new friends, and she's young. I was a lot older, and I just couldn't watch her distraction.
yeah, yeah. People there, they can't explain.
Some of the moments that I remember sometimes with Papa and certain, things that the way she said, what she said, whoa. And my mother said that she said something was going to happen bad tonight, and sure did.
Yeah, yeah. You could sense it. I think that the reason she was downstairs is not because the baby woke her up. I think she was downstairs because her and Darren weren't getting along. I think her and Darren were fighting, and she just decided to sleep on the couch away from him.
No, she planned to kill the babies. So because Drake will wake her up, she couldn't sleep because he wakes me up even when he turns and his crib. So they
Well,
were
I mean,
gonna go
but
downstairs with the boys. She planned this. Went downstairs with the boys that they're gonna sleep down there. That's what it was because Drake kept her up at night,
I don't know
even
how
when he
she,
turned.
I don't know how she didn't
Right,
hear
that would
anything.
make no sense when she even have a man sitting on top of her. Why she's not waking up when she wakes up when the baby turns in the crib?
Yeah, and
She,
Darren's mom told me. I talked to Darren's mom before she died, and she told me,
she died. Surrounded.
yeah, Sorella died. I think it's been about 4 years, and
Oh wow.
and she told me that Darlie was a very very light sleeper, and I said, well, Sorella, I said that even makes less sense that that she's a light sleeper. How she can't hear somebody coming in there and putting 10 stab wounds on her kids right next to her.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
Cirilda goes, okay, all right, let's talk about something else. She didn't
Uh
even want
huh.
to talk. She didn't even want to talk about it
Right.
because it doesn't make any
They
sense.
dismiss anybody who says because that's how they are. They don't want anything ugly stuck to them.
Oh,
You know.
these Darlie supporters, they hate my guts, Basia. Because I go,
No,
I go
well,
out,
they hate mine.
Well,
because I wouldn't lie for Darlie.
well, you didn't. You could have. You. They asked me, how come she didn't say this and that on the stand? But you told me. You said the reason you said you only answered what they asked you
Yes.
because you still had a lot of love for Darlie and Darren. But
Yeah.
when they tell you you have to get on the stand, you have to get on the stand. You can go to jail if you don't. And but I think you
They
went easy
really
on,
loved me. I thought
huh?
Darlie's gonna hate me because I didn't say no. She couldn't do that.
Yeah,
I said no. I was not there. I don't know.
right. You didn't
And
even
I
go into
couldn't
detail.
say that what happened in the hospital because I didn't trust my mind because I was so distraught myself.
Mm-hmm.
That did she say that? I don't believe I did that.
Yeah. Well, there's another part
Uh,
where it sounds like she's saying on the graveside, she gave an interview at the graveside and she walked away from Darren. And it sounds like she said, I couldn't help myself to me. But,
yeah,
but I don't know why she would utter things like that if she's telling everybody she didn't do the crime.
yeah.
I, it,
That whole thing. I talked with Toby Shook off and on 3 years
yeah.
and stuff. He is a private now. He's been a lawyer,
Yep.
and but he said, I says, how come? Because now and then he says, well, the raising some hell. He says, don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And I says, well, at that time I was in Indiana having my second spine surgery
Yeah.
because here nobody would touch me. I have a really bad spine.
Yeah.
And so I was there. I says, well, I'm in Indiana. I don't even hear what's going on in Dallas right now.
I've talked to Toby a couple.
So
I've talked to him a
he
couple times
said
too.
recently when I talked to him, he goes, it's just they're not in a hurry to kill people,
Yeah.
even when they're on a death row. So,
Well, they're giving her every chance to prove that she
yeah,
didn't do it. If she could prove that she didn't do it, then they're going to give her every chance. And every time they give her a new test or something, it always comes back to her.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just things just don't make sense. Especially the bruises on her arms. They don't even believe that bruising
No,
happened.
that's got to be afterwards. The way even Darren grabbed her by the arms, the way he hovered over her.
Yeah.
The way he grabs her and almost like he was pinning her down with her arms when he walked in, and he's whispering something, and she goes, I didn't tell her anything.
Huh.
Yeah. So,
I remember you said that before. She wanted you to go back to
yeah.
the house and get her little sex toys. And I know you're
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah. I said, so you worry about that? I said, honey, I bet you that the cops' wives have to feed themselves. Yeah, I couldn't believe that she was coming up with stuff that it was meaningless, to worry about.
I don't know why she would be worried about that anyway.
Yeah.
But, but they found that little bit of cocaine upstairs too, just a small amount. And
Yeah.
maybe she wanted you to get that too.
She mentioned that to me too. And I says, hon, I says, you shouldn't be worried about stuff like that. Here you are, almost got killed. The children got killed. And I says, and you worry about stuff like that?
Yeah,
And yeah, they're in something.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, sweetheart, I am going to let you go for right now. When I talk, I have seizures.
yeah,
I get very tired.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, I appreciate you talking to me. We'll talk again
we talk
sometime.
to some other time more.
All right. Good night.
Good night, sweetheart. I'm sorry I didn't recognize. At first, I was.
That's okay.
Okay, Brian. It
All
was
right.
good talking to you,
All right.
sweetie.
Bye bye, bye.
Good night.
Night.
Bye bye.